Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
What's happening, folks? Welcome to SBRforum.com. In this video, we're taking a look at Game 4 between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Los Angeles Kings. Now, when you take a look back at Game 3 and the end of Game 2, it definitely looks like the Kings have figured out the Blackhawks. Ever since Justin Williams scored that key goal at the end of the second period in Game number 2, they've obviously turned the tide and have found a way to put a lot of pressure on that Blackhawks defense and to break those pipes and, of course, get past Corey Crawford and get a couple of wins. Now, we saw it in Game 2 when the Kings turned it on and really started pushing the pace in the Blackhawks zone. The Blackhawks didn't have any answers. They obviously scored 6 unanswered in Game 2. Chicago played with the lead in Game number 3. Held leads of 1-0, 2-1. It didn't matter. As soon as the Kings really put the pedal to the metal in the second period again, they really pushed the envelope, and Chicago couldn't stop them. The Kings not only outscored the Blackhawks down the stretch in periods 2 and 3 of Game number 2 and Game 3, but they also outshot them. The effort was really there from the Kings, and the Blackhawks have to find a way to even things out. Now, to me, I think the Blackhawks will. I think this series heads back to Chicago 2-2, and I think it's going to happen for one main reason. You take a look at the Blackhawks, their penalty kill has let them down in the last 2 games. Game number 3, they were more disciplined, but they still couldn't kill all the penalties. And that's an issue. When you take a look at the Blackhawks, in their first 2 rounds, they allowed 4 power play goals. In the last 2 games, they've allowed 4 power play goals. Well, let's say 4. They allowed 3, but in game number 3, Drew Doughty scored the game winner as soon as the Blackhawks penalty was expiring. So I basically consider that a power play goal. So Chicago struggling to kill penalties, but history shows us that they're better at doing that, and I think that they'll get back to that in game number 4. However you cut it, I still think Chicago gets back home with the series tied 2-2. You take a look when you take out the special teams from the equation here, I think Chicago has been the better team. Their power play has really struggled. The Kings' power play has really thrived. But 5-on-5, Chicago has been the better team. If they can focus on, avoiding those penalties or doing a better job of killing those penalties and capitalizing on the power play, all things that they are traditionally better at than they have been in the last 2 games, then I think they head back to Chicago with this series tied up 2-2. That being said, this is pretty much a coin flip. I think there's value with the Blackhawks here getting about plus 125. But this is, this is a tight situation. The Kings definitely have momentum on their side. They're at home, although they're a better road team. They're still at home, and I think that, they definitely have seemingly cracked that code. The Blackhawks have dominated the series. This is now a coin flip shot for the Blackhawks, and the Kings, have definitely pulled momentum, or I guess you could say have evened the scales. As mentioned earlier in the series, the Blackhawks had won 8 of the last 9 meetings. That Game 2 win, very, very key for the Kings, because now they have the confidence to not only win these games to game, win the game situations game to game, but also win this series. That's not something that they had last year in this Western Conference Final. They didn't look like they had that confidence in the 3 regular season meetings with the Blackhawks either. So I do like the value with the Blackhawks. I do think that that they head back home with the series tied 2-2, but it is a coin flip really. I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings won 3-1, but to me the odds, the special teams, all those little aberrations that have happened in the last 1.5 games, 1.5 to 2 games, I think they flip back to Chicago and they find a way to even up this series. Thanks for watching this video right here on SBRforum.com. We'll catch up with you again soon.